application, VoIP integration. Okay, so we've got 1001 here. Oops. Go ahead and auto refresh every 3 seconds. And we'll bring up phone 2 as well, headquarter phone 2. So what we'll go ahead and do is just place a call to begin with from phone 1002 to 1001. That ringing, okay? We see just basic DN information, both on calling and called party, and if we answer, mute everything, on connected party as well. Okay, so we'll just do this in the opposite direction. Oops. Okay, so we see that as well. Looks like I still have auto answer configured. I'll have to turn that off, but phone 1002 auto answered, but we still only see basic DN information. Okay, we'll tear down those calls, and let's go ahead and bring up our CUCM admin interface. Log in. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at the phones. Now, by the way, throughout my presentation, you might notice that I've created some shortcuts up here for find phones, service parameters, serviceability control center to restart services, traces to enable those, might add gateways, might add a lot of things as time goes on. This is actually, depending on the extremity to which you take it, quite a very good idea in the real lab is areas or web pages that you're going to come back to a lot in the CUCMA it's going to really be helpful to create shortcuts along the top of your browser, Internet Explorer in the actual lab, in order to save time of having to, say device, phone, and find phones, or maybe even a specific phone or a specific gateway, or find gateways. Okay, so we'll take a look here at corporate headquarter phone 1. And we were told that this belonged to Jack Shepard. So we need to jump into the line, is actually where we're going to deal with the specifics of display. And let's go back and take a look again at the last 2 bullets. We were told first to ensure all IP phones primarily display their user's first and last name along with their extension. Okay, so for instance, Jack Shepard. Lab, you wouldn't have copy-paste ability until, that is, they migrate, and by the time you're watching this recording, maybe they have migrated the voice lab to the same way that the route switch lab is, which is that you don't have a physical 3-ring binder of tasks in front of you, but rather instead you actually have a PDF on screen. And I have confirmed that you can copy and paste from that PDF. So actually, a lot of people are reporting that it makes it a lot nicer to have the PDF versus the physical 3-ring binder of tasks paper in front of you. Okay, so here at the very bottom of our line 1, we see line text label, and we can put this in, and it will automatically copy down to the ASCII line text label with SIP phones and things like that. And we have an external phone number mask where we were told the corporate headquarter phone should show this number, +1 206 501 1000X. Now, one thing to note is that with external phone number masks, or anywhere that you see the word mask, in CUCMA, you can enter capital X's starting with the right or the most significant digit, and any X that you enter will inherit the value of whatever is referencing it. Okay? It depends on if it's a calling or a call-ed number. It's calling, what was the calling phone's DN? If it's a call-ed number, what was the dial digits? And we'll talk more about that on dial plan. But here in external phone number mask, I could enter up to, scroll all the way to the top to directory number, I could enter up to 4 capital X's in order to reference various parts or the whole thing, if I want, of this directory number. Now I could do something strange. So these last 4 could all be X's. I could do something strange like change it to that. Okay, so this would be X, which takes the value of the 1 place. Can't just highlight the 1 there. There we go. And I had an X on the end, but I replaced the 2 digits in the middle with 22. Now, I'm not going to do that, and I don't really have reason to do that, but I just wanted to go ahead, since we're here at this field, and since we're talking very briefly about masks, illustrate what could be done there in terms of changing various mask fields. So the capital X carries that placeholder or whatever DN is referencing it through to the next entity. In the case of external phone number mask, to a outbound PSTN call if the route pattern or translation pattern or various digit manipulations that we'll take a look at in dial plan reference use phone's external phone number mask as a checkbox, is what this is here. And also for automated alternate routing, AAR, that we'll take a look at in another module. But I also, anywhere there's a mask, I can, instead of using a capital X, I can put a very specific value, 3 for instance there, in the second to right most significant digit, and that will override anything that was used previously. Okay? We'll go ahead and save that. Now, one thing that you may note, I'm going to switch over to our phones here, is that although it's probably a good idea to typically hit restart, reset, and then restart, you can notice that this phone is already restarting, and it already has the line text label. There are certain features and aspects of phones that you have the ability, this is going to allow us to refresh here, I might just have to, this client, it's still connected, but sometimes it refreshes and the screen actually kind of disappears. You just have to tell it to control it again. Ah, okay. Device association error. Could have been because it was restarting. There we go. This looks better. So there are certain minor things like display that we don't necessarily have to here on the directory number, hit reset, or even back at the device, hit reset, and the pop-up window that popped up on my other screen, restart. If we hit reset, reset, that would actually fully reset the phone, of course, and we typically only want to do that if we actually need the phone to reboot. Typically we'll do a reset and then restart. But again, a lot of things such as this will automatically restart the phone. So now we'll go to our corporate headquarter phone 2, and the line, which is a DN on or DN registered to a device, is called a line, as we've mentioned before. And we'll scroll down, and we're going to put this external phone number mask in. We'll just go ahead and put all X's for the last 4 digits. And the line text label that we were instructed was Jack Shepard was corporate phone 1, so this is Hugo Reyes. Add extension space X 1002, and that will automatically copy down, and we'll press save. And again, time we go back out to our list, our phones will be restarting automatically. It's done this since Call Manager 4.1. Probably have to do a device reassociation just because it did restart. Okay, here we go. So now we've got our line text label associated to our primary lines, and the top right-hand display shows our full E164 number as we were instructed to do. Notice the X's have been replaced with the actual DN. That's also very useful when we were talking 2 weeks back with the web UI about the BAT tool, or bulk administration. We can assign all users in a single site, single geographical site, the same prefix, that is if their DIDs fall within the same range, with X's as the end, and that way we can essentially mass provision a lot of phones, and the X's will take place for a mask, the N will take that place. Okay, but if we notice, 1002 goes to call 1001, and we still only have 1001 to 1002, both on calling and connected. Okay, so that still hasn't fixed that issue. So we need to go back into corporate headquarter phone 1 and take a look at the DN. And if we scroll down to the bottom, we note that the line 1 on this device has a display. This is internal caller ID. Display text for a line appearance is intended for displaying text such as the name instead of a directory number for internal calls. If you specify a number, the person receiving the call may not see the proper identity of the caller. Okay? So what were we told in our task? We were told to ensure that 2 IP phones setting up a call both display the full name of the person that's either calling or being called, respectively. So both the calling party and the called party should see each other's full name. So Jack Shepard was our 1001. So let's go ahead and put his name here, and that'll automatically copy again down to the ASCII field. And let's go ahead and save that. Jump back out to corporate phone 2 and the DN here. 1002, and we'll scroll down, and I'll just grab Hugo Reyes' name here and place that. Display, internal caller ID. Press save. And we'll go look at our phones, and they should be resetting. Make sure that we have proper control over them after they reset. Device search for 1001. Let's control this phone. Here we'll search for 1002 again and control that phone. Wait till after it reset. Phone not registered at the moment. In the process of re-registering. Okay, so now we've got our phones back up. Let's try the call again. So 1002 is going to go off hook and dial 1001. The button I pressed there is just the mute. Now notice the called party, 1001, the person being called, sees the calling party, but the calling party, Hugo Reyes, only sees 1001. He does not see Jack Shepard. Okay, this was not the intended functionality. The reason I did it in this order is to enumerate that not only do we have to put display, fill in the display internal caller ID, so calling name party essentially, but we also at the very top have to put in the alerting name, so that whenever someone is ringing this phone, 1002, the calling party will see the alerting name. Well, actually, if Hugo Reyes is the calling party, then he will send that alerting name over. Okay, so if we click save here, once 1002 restarts, probably will here. I don't really need to tell it to restart, so I'll go back out to devices. A little bit of this restarting here in this lab, so bear with me. Okay, it's still not registered, it's re-registering. Let's tell it to try now. Go, this time it should work. Notice, if I call 1001, I still don't have what I'm looking for. Okay, Hugo Reyes is being shown, but I'm not seeing anything. That's because the Jack Shepherd doesn't have his alerting name, or when I am calling into Jack Shepherd, or I'm alerting Jack Shepherd, CUCM is alerting Jack Shepherd really, that name needs to be filled in as well for me to see it. However, vice versa, if I call, and auto answer is actually set to on, so let's turn that off. Go. All I did was turn off auto register. If I still redial or dial 1001, I still don't see Jack Shepherd's name here. He does see my name. However, if I call the other way, I turned auto answer off so we could see it a little bit longer, I actually do see Hugo Reyes, and that's because here under 1002, Hugo Reyes was filled in for his alerting name. So 1001 is trying to forward somewhere, I believe. Yeah. But that's because Jack Shepherd was trying to alert or tell CUCM server to tell Hugo Reyes' phone to be alerting or ringing. And during that ringing, we have an alerting name. So that's the reason we're able to see it one way. Now, if I go back out to my phones in general and go to corporate headquarter phone 1 and the line or DN of 1001 on the phone, notice I don't have an alerting name here. I do have the caller ID, and I need to bring that up to the alerting name. So once I do that and save there, then once these phones restart, it will be restarting here briefly. Started yet? There we go. Now, if Hugo Reyes 1002 calls 1001, he will see Jack Shepherd. It takes a little bit to populate it the first time, but we do see that information. Okay, and vice versa is still true. 1001, Jack Shepherd calls 1002, Hugo Reyes. Notice that it takes about a ring to see that information. Now, part of it's actually the delay of this client. So let me look on the actual screen here. Refreshes. Takes about half a ring, so about 2 seconds to see from the calling party to see that call-led party or the person that's being alerted or alerting to see their phone name, their alerting name. Okay? But that is the caller ID for the person being called, seeing the person calling, and then also the person that's doing the calling, seeing the call-led number, or name rather.